Greetings, Mayor Jeff Schielke speaking to you on Friday, June 3rd, 2022. And a couple of community-wide notes I have right off the bat. Number one, there is continuing to be in Batavia a strain of COVID, and some people who haven't had it previously have got it, some have got it for a second time. And so I'm just encouraging everybody to just be careful and watch yourself. And you can buy these test kits. They used to give them away, but now I guess you're buying them. That will allow you to determine whether or not you got it or not. And if you feel sick, the best advice, talk to our paramedics about this, and their advice is to call your doctor and see if you can get a prescription. It's something not to mess around with, and please be careful with it. And so we'll send our hopes and prayers to anybody in Batavia that's got it, but it is floating a little bit around town. It hasn't left, despite the hope, I think, of the state government that it was going to go away, but it has not done that. The other note I'd like to make is to officially congratulate the Batavia High School track and field team on winning the Class 3 state championship last weekend down at Eastern Illinois University at O'Brien Stadium in Charleston, and they did quite a nice job, and I believe this is the first time the track and field team of Batavia High School has ever won the state championship in totality, which is very unique because this also, as you know, in recent years we've won the state football championship twice, and in 1912 we won the state basketball championship. So now Batavia's got an enlarged number of state championships, and I'm told that we may be one of the very few high schools in the entire state of Illinois that can brag that we've won the state championships in all these different sports. So something extra special for Batavia to be proud of, and we're going to have the team down at the city council meeting this coming Monday night and give them all a proclamation and appreciation for their good efforts to do this. Coming up on the calendar, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. The big one is the 4th of July fireworks program, which will be fired again, as always, out at, I'll call it the Engstrom Park area across the street from Batavia High School, where many people sit and watch it, and a lot of people sit in the parking lots along Randall Road and watch it, and a lot of people watch it from the surrounding neighborhoods and from Engstrom Park. And so it's kind of the area best described as probably just behind the West Side Fire Stations where the sky will light up. And we are still trying to raise some money, as I've told you before on this call. We've always been able to pay for it with donations, and I don't think this year is going to be any different, but we would like to get some more donations in. And so we are offering, if you will make a $25 donation, the Fireworks Committee will deliver one of these signs to your front yard, and you can keep it up between now and the fireworks program. They've had a bit of a confusion with the ordering of the signs. Some people get on the computer and they push the wrong button. And so they asked me to again reinforce this. If you want to order a sign, you go onto their bataviafireworks.org website, and you will see these 3 lines. And you need to go to that area, click on the 3 lines in the upper right-hand corner, and then click on buy a yard sign, and then they'll ask you for your address, because some people are clicking on the sign and thinking that somehow through the computer we're going to know where the sign should go, and that has become somewhat problematic for us. So we're asking that you do that. Then we're coming up on June 14th, which is now only 11 days away. We're going to have the groundbreaking for the Grand Flag Day Memorial, which will be here permanently just to the east of the Peg Bond Center, just to the north of the parking lot at the west side of City Hall. And that's going to be quite a nice edifice. It's well over $1 million in construction when the time it's built, and it's going to be, I think, something that will have somewhat of a national attraction to it. And so we want to encourage everybody to come down that night for the groundbreaking, and then the community band is going to perform a concert. And roughly they're telling me the hours of the activity will be from about 6 p.m. to about 7:30 p.m. And if you don't have anything on your calendar, come on down. It'll be a very unique Batavia experience. And let's see, then the other thing that I wanted to let everybody know is at the end of this month we're going to have the primary election. and I believe that's on the 28th of June of this year. And I've had some people who are involved in the process suggest to me that we need to educate the Batavia people when you're going into the primary election. You're going to see a lot of names of people that you may not recognize, because with the rewriting or redistricting that was done after the 2020 census, much of Batavia was either cut out or changed, and so most of the state representatives and the Congress people who represented Batavia previously have been moved around, and they're not our representative anymore. And so I just wanted to encourage everyone to kind of be aware of that. Specifically, the one that I think many people will miss seeing the name is Congressman Underwood. She has been moved to a new district kind of further south of us. And I had the opportunity this week to have a meeting with her, and she's certainly regretful that she's losing Batavia, but I think the district she's got herself into now will probably be very supportive politically for her, so it probably in some respects was a good thing. But speaking of Congressman Underwood, I wanted to let everybody know that the reason I was with her this past week was she has filed as part of the federal, what do we call this, the Community Project Bill, for Batavia to get $4 million to help us buy new and enhance our food pantry and our clothes closet. And it's something that, if you're familiar with this one, we have in Batavia. It's well run, extremely well run. We're overstressed with materials that we don't have any place to store, in many instances show. And the same with the food pantry. We need a bigger space, and we need more room to do stuff. And so we're working on the idea that we'll be getting something new, but Congressman Underwood has put $4 million in her bill. She's filed for $22.6 million for projects selected for community funding. And Batavia is one of the towns this time that gets the funding. But of course, as she told me the other day, this is not going to be voted on by the full Congress, the House and the Senate, till after the November election. So if politics change a lot in that, it may be a more difficult reach than it is right now to get this funded, but we'll see. It's not necessarily a Democrat or Republican thing, it's just who all gets in the Congress in the next election. And some people don't want to spend any money on anything, and others are more generous and understanding, so we'll see how that all works out. But between that and seeing a lot of names on the ballot that you may not recognize, specifically at the state representative, state senate, and at the congressional level, I encourage you to become educated as to who the Batavia representatives are and whether or not you are in whose particular district. And kind of the, I guess the final thing I wanted to just touch base on is I've had the opportunity this past week to have 3 different phone conversations with the folks who now own the Randall 15 movie theater out on Randall Road. And if you've been by there recently, you've been seeing a whole bunch of demolition stuff coming out the door. They're greatly changing the inside of the movie theater. And one of the things that they will be offering when this new one opens, and the owner told me the other day he thinks it's going to be around the first of the year by the time they get this done, because he's got some ideas about expanding the building that we're going to Plan Commission here on the 14th, or the 15th, I guess it is. And so it may take a while to get some of this done, but it's some nice new additions and some new features. And one thing that they're going to be doing is probably adding food and drink to the movie theater, and so you'll be able to go and almost get yourself both fed and entertained at the same time. And apparently that's the new way of doing stuff. They're also looking at taking a couple of the theaters that were there previously and making them into entertainment theaters, where if you have a relative or somebody that's 80 years old and you want to have a birthday party, you go out and rent the facility for that, and then you deliver all the family pictures of this person, and they put them together in a CD, and then they show these pictures on the screen that will still be there, that will then show somebody's life. It'll be set to music, and it'll just play during the whole party, and you'll be able to see that, and then you'll be able to sit there and talk for a couple hours and just do what you wanted to do. but there's a lot of different parties that the owner tells me that people are not wanting to do, be it birthday parties, anniversaries, special birthdays. He specifically was very interested in how many senior living communities we have in Batavia, because that, he says, is a big generator of party activity for a couple other screens that he owns in the area. So anyway, we've got a lot of neat, interesting things happening in Batavia, a lot of things that are kind of going to happen, and we're trying to get, with this voting thing, I just want to get everybody alerted to the fact that the names on the ballot you pick, and it's a primary, so you got to pick one party or the other. Either party, there may be a bunch of names on there you may not know, and you'll ask yourself, well, where is the incumbent? Well, they may still be around, but their district has been moved hither and yon. In Batavia, I believe now we have two congressmen, a new congressman. One is Bill Foster, who is familiar to us because he started his congressional career as working at Fermilab and got elected, was a Batavia resident. And so he's coming back to us under the new map. And then we have a North End congressman from Woodfield, whose first name is Raja, and I have a very difficult time pronouncing his last name. But he's got the far north end of the east side of Batavia, up around Fabian Parkway and Washington Avenue. He's got the gas station on the corner, and I think he told me he has 19 or 22 houses behind the gas station that are in his congressional district. So he made a courtesy call to me, and we talked about Batavia for a few minutes. Seemed like a very nice guy. And so things are changing at the political world, and there's a lot of things taking place. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about this week. Hope everybody has a good week and enjoy yourself. It sounds like the weather's going to be nice. Greg Foltos is going to be doing his chop around the clock thing here tonight and tomorrow, and I guess he still makes money for the Ronald McDonald House, and it's a very, very nice way of doing business. And so there's just a lot of nice things, a lot of nice people doing good things in Batavia. And I just wanted to wish everybody a good weekend, and talk to you next week.